Hello, welcome back to Lowcountry View of Hilton Head. I'm your host, Earl Yates. For the second part of our show, we're going to have William Kwanamanha-Poh. I hope I got that correct. I'm sure I did. William is an artist, and he's out of Savannah, but he has his art displayed now at the Hilton Head Art League Museum, and it's pretty fantastic pieces. We actually have a couple pieces here that I'll show you in just a bit, and William will be nice enough to give us a narration on them. William, my man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank you
it's a
very
pleasure.
much.
It's a pleasure.
Yes,
Anytime
yes.
I have a chance to have an artist on, it is a true pleasure.
I appreciate it.
You know, I've been called an artist even though I'm not, so of course I like to spend time with those who really are. So first of all, give me a brief history of William.
I'm originally from Ghana. I moved to Savannah about 15 years ago. I lived in Chicago for 10 years and decided the weather was not that great.
No doubt.
Like, you know, this is really bad. So I'm like, you know, after a few years you realize, why am I in this cold? So I moved south. I had a friend who lived here. He was also an artist, and he had a studio here and said, well, you know, you could have a studio at City Market and paint and show your work. I'm like, great. So I packed my bags and moved here about 15 years ago. My dad brought us here about 30 years ago. He was a Fulbright scholar. And after he left, we stayed and went to college and finished, and been moving around showing my work all over the country.
Of course, we're going to let everyone know about your work and what you do and what it takes to be an artist of your caliber. But before we start, you know, back home, let's go back home for a little while, please. What was your life like as a kid running around Ghana?
As a kid, growing up in Ghana was different. I mean, you did not know you were in a different world till you come here. And we grew up on a university campus. So it was like a 5-mile radius, all enclosed, student housing, faculty, campus and everything. So my dad had a residence on campus.
Understood.
So we grew up there. We had the bus pick us up in the morning to take us to primary school. And then we started venturing outside when I went to high school. And then you had to go into the city outside and everything. And so it was nice. We had an international audience. I have friends who now live in London, who live all over the world, because they had families both here and in Ghana and also in abroad. And because of that, we spoke English every day. The average Ghanaian spoke English only in school. So when people talk to us, you speak very good English. I'm like, well, because I spoke English every day and I grew up on a college campus. So it was a different scenario. I was in Peoria a couple of weeks ago, and next door to us when I was growing up in Ghana was a family that was teaching there. His father was a professor also on campus. And I met them again when I went to Peoria to do the show. So you realize that we are interlinked in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
You know? So it was great. It's great. Life was not the way it is here, where there's a bus to take you everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, we walked a lot when we were not going to school.
Which is not a bad thing
Which
at
is
all.
not a bad thing, because you learn to have some stamina. You learn to walk and get a better endurance. So I enjoyed growing up in Ghana. Yeah.
So what age was it when you found out that it was not just going to be a desire to be an artist, but that you were an artist?
I think it was more here. When I was growing up and doing my work, I was more a kid just trying to get a few crumbs from my dad, meaning that if I painted, whatever I want, I got. So I felt like, okay, if I see him coming, I'll just start painting, and
He's a trickster too.
He's a trickster, and he's happy. Yes. He calms down, and everything I want is cool.
Good.
So, because as a middle child, when he came in the house, if something was wrong, it was my fault. Most of the time, it was. So with art, I was able to relieve a lot of that pressure and make him calm down, make him feel good about everything. So he saw the talent before I really knew what I had.
Yes.
I just played with it. My grandfather was an artist. He was a musician, so he taught music. So because of that, I think I got a little bit of that talent from that,
Well, I tell you, it's a unique situation to have an artist actually be pushed into that genre. I mean, sure, when you speak of different arts, as in music and things like that, where kids are pushed in by parents to have music classes. You go to the pianist and you're
Right.
taught and everything. But actual art, it's kind of hard. Sure, you can go to art school and things like that.
Right.
But to be a kid and have the family support to say, hey, if you become a starving artist, that's okay, but that's what you do well, so go at it. I mean, in any facet of life, that is very hard to have someone already know what you're going to take an interest in and push you. So, I mean, no wonder why your art is so good.
Well, thank you. I think part of it too was that, my grandfather died young. So my father really did not see the talent. So it was something he really wanted to appreciate. But as my grandfather was a piano, a musician, and taught music, he knew from that I could also succeed. As far as painting, that was something else. He did not know what, that talent would bring about. But with that in mind, it made it a lot easier for me to improve, because then there was no restrictions. There was not somebody saying that, don't do this art because you're never going to be, successful.
Understand.
So it helped me really relieve pressure. And when I came to Talladega College in Alabama, the art instructor that I saw his work, the moment I saw his work, I'm like, I can do this. But it was so simple, but very difficult. Yes. In the beginning, I did not know.
Yes, yes.
The simplicity made it beautiful, but as a person standing back and looking at it, you said, I can do that.
Absolutely.
But simplicity is not easy.
Because it's easy to copy, but to create is
a whole different world.
Yes. But so, with further ado, what we'll do is I'm going to hold up some of your art.
Okay.
And you just do some narration for it.
I would do that. I would do that.
Because there's such beautiful pieces. This is going to be the first piece.
This piece is called Hope, and it's part of my Fisherman series. And I have a word on the writing on the boat which says Osram Ninstruman, which means the moon and the star. And it means that the North Star has an affinity for marriage. She's always waiting in the sky for the return of her husband, just like the young lady is waiting for the return of her husband, the fisherman. So I have a lot of pieces about fishing, and this is one of the pieces in that particular series.
Well, let's go to the next one. Not to mention, I need a break, man. These things are not light.
They're not light. They're not light.
Let me slide that one right here.
Okay.
Next one. Man, look at this piece. This is by far my favorite piece.
Thank you. This is about hanging fabric. I like texture. I do a lot with texture in my work. And I went home in 2000, and this lady was in the balcony in her space across from us. And so I took the shot because I really liked the fabric. I like the folds and the texture. It reminded me of the kente cloth, which is one of our national fabrics, but not as detailed. And I did not want to paint the kente cloth because it's really, really colorful and too detailed. So
yes.
Yeah.
Next one. This one is heavy, so you got to do some quick.
I'll do quick talk
Yes.
for you on this one. This is about the journeys that people take to and from all over the country, and all our minibuses, if they're not full, they don't move. It's not a time-based energy thing. It's based on being full. So that's what it is about. And also, we all have writings on the buses. God is King, God is love, Jesus this. So that's why I put that God is King on the piece, to reflect how our buses are.
Wow, that's something special. I think I know we're on camera and everything, but
Right.
like that. But I think with your art and definitely your mindset, I think it's something very special for even Hilton Head natives.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Coming from a Gullah background
Right.
as myself,
Okay.
of course, most African Americans, it's a shame that we can really trace our ancestry only back to slavery. I wish there would be some way that we could actually get across the water and just actually make a tie there,
Right,
because
right.
I mean, so many other nationalities are going back to my great-grandfather who came to New York from
Okay.
Italy,
Okay.
and it was Sicily actually, and my great-great-great-grandmother in Sicily did this, and man, you're such a vital piece to the same puzzle of the Gullah community here, and not only your art, but also your heart, my man. So
Thank you. I think part of what I do is exactly what you're talking about, the heritage.
Yes.
And that's what the title of the show is called. It's called Honoring Our Heritage. And what I try to do is tell stories that I'm familiar with.
Yes.
If I go into your community they'll immediately see me as foreign, even
Yes.
though I'm black and
Yes.
I'm African. They'll see that I'm foreign because I'm different.
Yeah.
What I try to do with the work is to show people the connection,
Wow.
so they can really understand that there is a connection between all of us.
Well, you know, I got the connection already, so
Okay.
we're going to definitely stay in touch.
Thank you very
William.
much. I appreciate it.
This has been Lowcountry View, and it's been a pleasure to have William on, such a wonderful artist. And he is once again at the Hilton Head Art Heritage
Art League,
Art League
and the show
Museum.
is on till this Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
please, you have the invitation there from William himself. Come join. Have a good night.